how I knew I had a drinking problem, how I finally learned to drink alcohol moderately, and how I got to where I am today, which is actually 4 years alcohol free. I wanted to make this video because if you're anything like me, I was a heavy drinker for nearly 10 years and I was constantly questioning my relationship with alcohol. I would wonder, am I an alcoholic? Is my drinking normal? Am I damaging my health by how I'm drinking? Do I need to quit drinking? But also thinking, man, I can't imagine life, never drinking again. It just seems so bleak and gray. And I really, at the time, thought that my only option was to quit drinking forever. Like, if I were to admit that I was an alcoholic or that I had a drinking problem, my only option that I was aware of was to quit drinking. And so this just kept me kind of cycling in and out of periods of binge drinking, really being fed up with it, telling myself I can't drink, then I would quit. I'd make it, a week, a couple weeks, maybe a couple months, and then I would return to drinking again. And the cycle would just continue, and my drinking seemed to be getting worse. I actually didn't recognize the signs of my drinking problem until I started on the treatment that helped me to become a moderate drinker, which I'll talk about in just a second. But some of the signs that became more obvious to me were things like I was hungover at least once a week. I was someone drinking 6 or 7 days a week, and at least one of those days I'd be so sick in bed hungover, I would have mild hangovers the other days of the week. I was constantly thinking about drinking. I would start thinking about drinking around 11 a.m. every day, kind of fantasizing and romanticizing my evening bottle or two of wine ritual. I would also notice that if I'd be at parties or social functions, I was usually the one that was drinking the most and drinking the fastest out of everyone else, and I would genuinely be worried, like, is there enough alcohol here? So those are all typical signs of alcohol use disorder. And again, these didn't become apparent to me until I started on an alternative treatment called the Sinclair Method that actually helps people to reduce drinking over time. In my case, I started this treatment as a daily bottle or two of wine drinker, and over time, my drinking gradually reduced to the point where I was drinking a couple of drinks, a couple times a week, and I was totally back in control of my drinking. This treatment has actually been around for nearly 30 years, but it's just still wildly unknown, and I think that's primarily because the traditional treatment space requires abstinence as the first step, and again, this treatment doesn't require you to quit drinking because it helps you to actually regain control over your alcohol. I was on this treatment for a year, and I honestly feel like it cured me of my alcohol addiction. After a year on this treatment, I just got to a point where I really didn't enjoy drinking anymore at all. I didn't have any desire for alcohol, and that led me to quit drinking over 4 years ago because it's really easy to not do something when you don't desire it. But one of the great things about this treatment is that you have the choice whether to be a moderate drinker or to quit drinking. To learn more about it, check out my other videos here on TikTok.